Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Civilized Havok. Welcome to my Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut, Part 8. I'm just gonna talk to Paul Amsel about our finding. It seems that Amsel has assembled the team in your absence. They stand in a group around the old display that you had Mallet deliver. On their faces, you can see excitement and apprehension, curiosity and dread. Slick Flimsy, have you procured a DVD reader? And Amsel a DVD player. I have, it's right here. Good, this should only take me a moment. Amsel disappears behind the ancient display. After a few minutes of fiddling with its battered inputs, he reappears, a satisfied look on his face. Everything appears to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. Well, don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing already. Slick Flimsy went through the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Amsel steps back, clearing a path for you to access the antique machine. Fine. Let's have a nice movie evening. A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life and the menu fills the screen. Play track 1. The screen grows black and a cheerful digital chimming sound spills out of the display's speaker. A crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. After a few moments, the display goes live and a disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glitter with excitement. The timestamp on the screen is 2034 9:15. Heard me. I think we found her. After all this time, Feuerschwinge. I knew that she wasn't dead. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. They survived. She survived the Dragonfall. Yes, as I've always said. I knew it, and I was right. The screen explodes into static, and the electronic whine in the background sharpens into needle-like pulse and of high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dantes lets out a whimper. I gotta change his voice. I think this is Beauclair. I'm gonna give him a French accent. The screen clears and the excited face is closer to the screen than it was before. The words spill out of him in a breathless tide. Taking a team into the socks to retrieve her. The radiation be damned. We will take appropriate precautions, of course, but we must go. Hear me. I think that the body may be nearby as well. Somehow she has survived for all this time. The screen explodes into static again, then clears. The figure flickers across the screen. May not be back for some time. Look after Mom, okay? I worry about her. And hear me. Stay safe out there. I know that things are heating up in Berlin, and I know you. Students protest, civil uprising. You'll be in the middle of it, I'm sure. Just stay safe, alright? And I'll do my best to do the same. I don't know what's going to happen when I step into this hoax. But I do know one thing. If the Fire Wing is still danger, I will put an end to her, once and for all. The display goes black, and the background whine fades away. A moment later you find yourself deposited back at the menu screen. Play track 2. The screen goes black for a moment, then a figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Green Winter. His elbow is planted on a table that he's seated at, and his chin rests on his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a bottle of cheap whiskey. The timestamp on this video reads 2053 12:25. Found the message Adrian left me all those years ago. Got it cleaned up as best I could. Strange hearing his voice again. Pauses to take a long pull out of the bottle. It's good time him, even if he did insist on calling me Hermie. Dr. Adrian Vauclair, the hero of the people, the Dragon Slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's been almost 20 years. Alright, so I'm gonna start recording these DVDs again. For me, for Adrian, for whoever might wind up watching. Every time I do this, it winds up feeling like a waste of time, but I keep doing it anyway, on the off chance that I'll find something important. If I stumble into the clue that leads me to my brother, I know that I'm gonna want it on film. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, after all. No sense in quitting now. Christ, 20 years, all this time, and still no leads. Even with all my contacts and my resources. Takes another long swallow of cheap liquor. Even with all my legendary bullheadedness, I've made no progress at all. I haven't turned up a single goddamn thing. Wanna hear something funny? The closest I've gotten to was a clue. To a clue was a rumor. Apparently a team emerged from the SOX a while back, nobody clear on that date. But, and get this, he leans into the camera and gives a conspiratorial wink. Suppose they vanished without a trace. He opens the bottle, drains it, slams it back down the table. His eyes are rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor, considering I already know that you're gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Abrupt Winters leans forward and reaches for something off screen. The display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. Play track 3. There's a grinding sound from the DVD tray, and Green Winter's image appears on the screen. There's an eager look on his face. Timestamp on this video reads 2054-10-12. Stumbled upon this archival footage of Feuerschwinger's original attack, months before the Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. I've got the footage all queued up to play. Starting it now, additional comments to follow. Slow wire of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into the being on the screen. A timestamp is in the upper right corner of the screen marks the date. July 6, 2012. It's difficult to make out what you're seeing at first. The scene is dark and smoky, and the telltale flashes of emergency vehicle lights flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in, and you can make out two figures standing in a ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragonfall Swinger launched an unprovoked attack on the Sleepy Hearts mountain town. And you can see the results behind: fire, ashes, and blood. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. The camera switches focus to a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible. Just pure chaos. Many people are dead. People I knew, roasted alive or trampled to death, trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family, we have nothing now. You all made it through the attack, though. Your wife, your kids? Yeah, we all made it, thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter. Me, my wife, and our 2 daughters. The shelter, it protected us, but that heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long were you holed up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours, I don't know. I just stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, you know, when the air cooled down, the reporter nods and the man continues, we stepped outside. There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage and this dense cloud of black oily smoke, and the stench in the air. God, that smell! It smelled like roasting meat. There's a long pause. From the tortured look on his face, you can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually he does. My girls, they found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I keep telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get it, but that isn't true. I could. I just couldn't bring myself to open the door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her, not for anyone. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. Yeah. You heard it here. An absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, the town of Stolberg has been reduced to ash, another victim of the Firewing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on Fireschwinger's reign of terror. Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's a complete dead end. That much is pretty clear by now, so I'm gonna do some digging on Fireschwinger instead. Let's see where this goes. The screen abruptly goes black as the video cuts off, and a few moments later you find yourself returned to the menu screen. Play track 4. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. Green Winter's image appears on the screen. The timestamp on the video reads 2054-10-31. Well, that was a bust. Little progress on Fireschwinger either. Shakes his head. I don't know, it's weird. The information is there, it's just wrong somehow. It's too well laid out, too simple. Real life is messy, and this feels just a little too neat. It's not the only thing that's nagging at me. I'm getting that tingling feeling all up and down the back of my neck again. It feels like I'm being tracked. I'm no Matrix hot shots like Clockwork or Schaefer, but I'm good enough to know when someone's on my scent. Gotta install some new security measures. Can't be too careful. Winter's image disappears. The display goes black. A few seconds later the main menu returns. Play track 5. The display goes blank for a moment, then the face of Green Winter swings onto the screen. He is seated at a computer. Off to his left, an enormous monitor fills the screen. His voice carries an edge of panic. The timestamp on it, the video reads 2054-11-9. Christ, I'm getting too close to something. There's a trail of bodies and there have been disappearances. Gearbox, Martian, Peregrine, they're all disappeared within the past few years. Gearbox just went AWOL yesterday, and they were all making the same sorts of inquiries about Firewing that I've been. There are ghosts, stories spreading around the Decker community. Stories about Deckers disappearing and then showing up again later, but wrong somehow. Scary stuff, and I'm starting to think that it's true. It leans in to whisper to you. I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. Never really put much stock in. Not until now. Could these rumors be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? He pauses for a moment as if seriously considering the question. Then he shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here, and I'm right in the middle of it. Iger cuts in. That's a bit of a leap. One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about Kill Team. A kill team that might be related to all of this. Apparently a Decker named Hellebore posted a theory about Feuerschwinger to the Shadowrun BBS about 5 years ago. About an hour later, a mil-spec team showed up in meat space and cooked her entire apartment. With her in it. If what Tolstoy told me was true, Hellebore live posted the event. She described her killer. This great big orc with skin grafts. Then the whole threat disappeared, gone without a trace. Leap, Agalov? Sounds like he's right on track to me. Iger holds her silence, but concedes the point with a small nod. On the screen, Winter pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally, he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has gotta be Feuerschwinge. All of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive, and she's out of the socks. As always, she's covering her tracks, working the shadows, preparing to rise again, and that means that I have to find you, Adrian, for everyone's sake. Thankfully, I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I've got a solid goddamn lead. I've backtracked, traced all of the metrics note that Hellbore was looking into, but before she got cooked, whoever being purged the metrics didn't think about that, and I found that she turned up. Winter stabs a few keys on his keyboard and an image expands to fill the screen of his monitor. A satellite photo of a rural landscape annotated with GPS data. A set of mad coordinates. So, now I've got a target. A place to start digging. The Harfeld Manor conveniently located on an isolated stretch of the countryside, miles away from prior eyes. Matrix records indicate that some sort of data vault exists beneath the estate, so that's what I need to get it. And this is where we came in. As if on cue, a familiar image winks onto the monitor to Winter's left. Monica. I think I'm gonna tap Schaefer for this job. She's good. She's got the skills to bypass whatever security they're running out there, and she's gullible enough to take the job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about flux state security and she'll eat it up with a spoon. I want her. Amber's voice is choked with rage. I want her. On the display, Winter's mouth parts into the broad grin. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night, I should have the information that I need, and on the off chance that Schaefer gets taken out, well, that'll tell me something too. Can make an omelette and all that. Without breaking some eggs? Fucking asshole. You risked life just for your own progress. Why didn't you go there yourself, you asshole? Until then. Winter's image disappeared. The display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. Play track 6. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. You recognize the scene in the window. You are looking at the tattered drapes and nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room at Das Kasselhaus. Timestamp on this video reads 2054-11-10. Yeah, that's the time when he must have noticed that Monica's dead. There's a blur of motion and the haggard from a Green Winter lumbers into frame. Suspicious confirmed. Schaefer dead. Christ. Winters reaches a shaking hand off camera. A moment later, it returns clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand and takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up. Slow down. Start from the beginning. Winter closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got the call from my contact in Kreuzwasser. Schaefer killed on the estate run. Matrix security at the estate cooked her brain. Considering Schaefer's skill and experience on site, IC must have been extreme even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money, real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. The connection to the fire wing is too strong. So, let's come right out and say, the dragon is what we're dealing with. And the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got my connections, and the flux state can be a hell of a weapon for a man who knows how to manipulate it. Winter takes another long pull from his glass, grimaces and swallows. Time for me to make my play. Ghost stories or not, missing deckers or no, I've got to jack into the Matrix and start pulling strings. The countermeasures that I instead earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes. I'll be in there. Winter drains the rest of the glass, then tosses it back over the shoulder. A moment later you hear the dull clattering sound of hard plastic on linoleum. Schaefer's death was tragic. She He was a staunch supporter of the F-state, but still, all things considered, Winters fishes for something off-screen. A moment later, his hands grippers clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. He plugs the cable into his head and the screen cuts to static. Fine. Oh, great, Green Winters. You should be happy that you're dead, because I would kick your balls in for involving me into that horrifying nightmare. As your finger nears the eject button, a black screen cuts in over the static. A moment later, Green Winter's haggard face appears. If you're watching this, then I guess that they caught up. They will be after you too now. Yeah, thank you, Winters. Blitz whispered into your ear again, more harshly this time. What the hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? We didn't know. Not exactly. Not exactly? I didn't come here to get hunted by a dragon. I'm not even a part of this. You are now, whether you like it or not, so quiet down and stop bothering him. Whoever you are, whatever you think you're after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Beauclair. Not because he's my brother. Because if Feuerschwinge is rising again, he's the only one who can stop her. You've seen what happens to the people who get too close to this. I'm dead, and dozens of others have died. You'll be next, until you can find Adrian. The screen cuts back to static, the message is over, the DVD tray slides out and of the reader. Yeah, great. Now what? Again a little chat with Paul Amsel. The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon. Son of a bitch. Green Winter set him up against the dragon. The Fire Wing. Amsel's voice is thick with dread. She lives! I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Wait a second. We didn't know for certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Alder's shoulder. The evidence seemed pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. The room fell silent. Iger and Glory exchanged glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Feuerschwinge. Then she was killed by that same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica's died. That's a direct link between the dragon and the scarred orc at the Harford Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there. Slick flimsy, someplace far beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on a door to her lair without even knowing it. And think again, given what we've seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon and that she will come after us, what do you suppose that we do about it? I tell you what we are going to do. We're going to follow Winter's advice. We're going to find Beauclair. Yes, Slick Flimsy is right. Finding Dr. Beauclair should be our priority. If we're going up against a dragon, we need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Winter spent 20 years searching for Beauclair, and it got him nowhere. Now, how do you propose that we find him? With the help of an information broker. I'll go talk to Al2 then? For this? No. While her Boagazi is very capable, tasks of this magnitude is beyond him. We need to make contacts with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. Blitz scoffs at Amsel. Alice? Best of luck. I hope that you're rich. Amsel raises an eyebrow. For this? Rich enough? Even if only just... Who is Alice? A most prominent figure in Berlin. Community, ex-Schockwellenreiter. She provides information retrieval services for the F-state. Amsel turns to the computer console behind him and runs his finger over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters was right, if Beauclair is still alive, she can help us find him. The console spits out a thick stick of plastic, black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with Alice. Cred stick? Amsel nods. An encoded cred stick, yes, 10,000 neuron. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal savings. Slick Flimsy, make this meeting count. 10,000 nuyen just to talk to her? Amsel nods. Her standard fee. Alice is in a position to ask it, and we're not in no position to argue. Just like I said, why didn't anyone else listen to me? Where do I need to go? Take the U-Bahn to Altstadt Spandau. There you will find a connection tube that the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. Oh god, Alice and the rabbit hole, yeah, see the connection there. Probably we're gonna be attacked by a white rabbit. You will find a method of contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her though. Word on the street is that she hates it. Please hurry, while you're out. I will work on acquiring new contacts for the team. Alice is the best there is at what she does, and her servers carry a price tag to match. Alright, off to Altstadt Spandau. This is really no big deal, it's just a little trip to a U-Bahn station. And here we are. It's really nothing, I just have to click on the orange colored symbols and go on with my life here. The only active console in the derelict span of U-Bahn platform is an old video arcade machine. The CRT monitor set into the machine's cabinet glows invitingly, cheerfully. Pixelated graphics swirl and dance on the screen. I investigate the machine. At the base of the controller panel you find a cleverly hidden input port. The port is shrouded in black plastic and it appears to be the approximate shape of a typical cred stick. Amsel's encoded cred stick, insert it down the machine. Internal motors grip this cred stick and pull it into the machine. It appears into the port and the screen goes black. Moments later a video image fills the screen. The picture is dark and grainy, a far cry from the bright, colorful sprite that previously inhabited the display. On the screen is a dimly lit office. The place looks like it was pulled straight out from an old detective movie, from the venetian blinds on the windows to the great swathes, a shadow that paint the walls black. Center stage, sitting behind a large mahogany desk, is the silhouette of an impressive-looking woman in a charcoal grey suit. The tip of a cigarette glows cherry red in the shadows. She leans forward into the light and you catch your first glimpse of Alice. Her face is all hard planes and sculptured angles, with high cheekbones and almond eyes. Her lips are painted a rigid blue, but the look in her eyes is even colder. A head of lustrous black hair is interspersed with flowing streams of cyan light. Alice exhales a plume of smoke, then tips her cigarette into a nearby ashtray. She fixes her eyes on you, and her lips curl into a humorless smile. We're on your dime, friend. Tell me what you're looking for. I need you to find someone for me. Dr. Adrian Beauclair. She raises an eyebrow. The Dragon Slayer? Interesting. He's been missing for a long time. Did Amsel call ahead and brief you about this? That isn't how I operate. And besides, I don't need a briefing to recognize the name Beauclair. The taps of a painted fingernail to her temple. Trivia is passion of mine. Charming. Alice steeples her fingers. Alright, here's how this is going to work. When you give me the go-ahead, I'm going to start gathering information for you. Once I've finished, you're going to bring me a cred stick, encoded with an encrypted key that I'll provide you. The cred stick will have 50,000 snuyens on it. When I get my cred stick, you get your information. This is the deal. Take it or leave it. Price gouging, huh? For a neo-anarchist, you behave an awful lot like an old-world profiteer. Alice smiles at you sweetly. I wasn't aware that there was a difference between the two. In all seriousness, I'm charging you what the job is worth. Do you know how much work it takes to find a digital ghost? There's going to be wet work, breaking into government archives. Hell, I might even have to commission an expedition into the SOCs. This is a serious undertaking, my friend. Now, do we have a deal or don't we? All right, Alice, it's a deal. Okay. But remember, you say go and I go. From that point on, you're on the hook to pay me a fee. No turning back, no refunds. Are we aware of this? So, I don't see what choice we have. Yeah, we're square. Good, I'll be in touch. The screen goes black. Moments later, the machine reboots. The colorful sprites that you saw when you first approached the arcane cabinet return. There's nothing more to see here. Alice is gone. Damn it. Something to pick up. Oh. Off to the stash. Can we sell all those things? I mean, all those drugs? At a drugstore? I don't know. Okay, back to our hideout. The safe house. What comes next? Anything I have to talk to Blitz about? No. Nothing new. Paul. Slick Flimsy, did you make a contact with Alice? Yes, I did. She accepted our payment and I ordered the search for the information we need. Very good. I can't imagine that this will be cheap. What was Alice's started price? Here comes the bad news. You're right on the count, 5,000 nuyen. He shrugs. It is about as I had expected. Thankfully, we are prepared for this. I have established contact with a number of new clients. You can find information on the jobs logged on your mission computer. One jobs file is on there already. While you're working to earn Alice's fee, I will continue to dig for clues about Feuerschwingen. If she is, in fact, roosting under the Halfwelt Manor, then there must be some evidence to support that fact. A dragon is a large thing to hide, after all. Be careful, Paul. Remember what happened to Monica. I will never forget. Don't worry, Slick Flimsy. I'm going to conduct my investigation the old-fashioned way, through contacts and deduction, and careful observation. I will not jack into the Matrix until this entire episode is finished. Speaking of doing this the old-fashioned way, Malit is working to recover information of those other DVDs. It's a painstaking process, and it will not be quick, but she's optimistic that she will be successful in time. Finally, I've been checking up on your friend, the orc, with the skin grafts. I haven't heard anything bad yet, but I'll keep you appraised as the situation develops. Sounds good, Paul. I'll go check up on those jobs. One last thing before you go, Slick Flimsy. Samuel Beckenbauer wants me to pass a message to you. Do you know him? The orc who runs the shelter across the way? Yeah, we met. Well, he has a job for you. He wouldn't discuss it with me, but he promises that it would prove worth your time. I'll keep it in mind. Alright. Off to the mission computer. There are new jobs. The workstation and mission computer, yeah, okay. I need that I click on the new messages, maybe there's something. Oh. Commissioning your services. Withheld to Slick Flimsy. Anonymous or whatever. We would like to arrange a meeting between you and one of our representatives. You find him at the cafe nearby. His name is Luca Dürr. He will be expecting you. Come along. Okay. That can wait. That can wait. Open job directory. View all pending and active jobs. Pending jobs. Farmer cleanup. And this face wings on the screen. Here you find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Fuchs, a potential client. The job seems to be relatively straightforward and the payout is reasonable. One word of caution before you proceed. There are aspects of this run that you might find morally troubling, but sure to read and understand the specifics of the job before accepting. If you do accept, you will be expected to carry out the requirements of the job in full. After reading this transcript, you may choose whether or not you to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified and I will make all necessary preparations for the run. Okay. Guest? Herr Amsel. Yes, I'm here. To whom I'm speaking? You may call me Herr Fuchs. Very well, please describe the work that you would like to have done. Straight to the point, I like that. Very well. I would like to retain your team services to clean up a mess. Go on. My employer dispatched a team of operatives to conduct a quiet operation at the local Sharing Pharma ID lab. Unfortunately, they botched the job. The team was eliminated, but we have reliable information that one of the operatives has been taken captive. If this rogue agent were to spill information leading back to my employers, it could lead to a corporate war. A great many lives could be lost. My employers would like nothing more than to prevent such tragic turn of events. Ah, I see. And you wish to retain my team's services to tie up loose ends? Exactly. The captive operative is a rigger by the name of Torvald Enstadt. We need him neutralized before he can inform on us to his captors. As Enstadt and his team have already put the facility on high alert, stealth will not be an option. Your team will need to shoot its way in, eliminate Enstadt, and exit the facility. A straightforward enough task and well within my team's capabilities. What are you offering in terms of pay? 15,000. This offer is non-negotiable. Very well, I pass the offer on to my team. Very good. Good day, Herr Hansel. I could accept the job, but I decline it for now because there's another one. Pending Humanis data steal. Hamsel's face appears on the screen. Samuel Beckenbauer has approached me with an offer of work. Apparently an associate of his has learned some disturbing details regarding the Berlin chapter of the Humanis Holy Club. He would like to contact your team to investigate these rumors. Beckenbauer was unwilling to discuss the specifics of the job in your absence. He has requested that you speak with him in person at your earliest convenience. Fine, I'll do that. and let's check the Shadowrun's BBS. I just go claim payment. 495. That's something. And post-pay data. Is there something to pay? No. We didn't find anything interesting in the Drogenkippe. I searched BBS, and I'm not gonna read it out loud because it's tedious. Okay. And that's about it. Nothing more we can do at our mission computer, except to accept a mission. And therefore we talk to Samuel Beckenbauer directly. Hello again, my friend. What can I do for you? I heard you wanted to talk about the job. Yes, I do. Thank you for coming so promptly. Takes a deep breath, slowly releases it, and looks you in the eye. Tell me, what do you know about the Humanist Poly Club? They're an anti-meta-human hate group. You know, it's the largest and most well-founded of its kind. The investigators of the Night of Rage. The instigators of the Night of Rage, and the enemy of everything that I stand for. Night of Rage? A worldwide race riot that took place in February 2039. Thousands of innocent metahumans were attacked, beaten, and killed. Women and children were corralled into warehouses for protection and then buried alive when the structures were put to the torch. This is what Humanist stands for. This is the agenda that its leaders strive to advance. They will not be satisfied until all metahumans everywhere are driven from the face of the earth. If you want me to go up against Humanist, it's gonna cost you. Yes, your Herr Amsel informed me of your business practices. Rest assured, you will be paid. Now, if we may discuss the details of the job. Go ahead. Yesterday I overheard one of my assistants talking on his comm. He was yelling, clearly agitated. I questioned him, and he confided in me. What he told me made my blood run cold. Let me guess where this is going. Humanist is planning something, an attack of some kind. He nods. Yes, I believe so. The Berlin chapter of Humanist has arranged to acquire a large shipment of an extremely hazardous chemical. Their leader Volker Stahl is a vicious ideologue. It goes without saying that whatever he intends to do, it won't be good for us. I want you to infiltrate the smuggler's operation that is delivering the shipment. Once you arrive at the Humanist compound, you will find out that they're planning to do with the chemical and to put a stop to it. What makes you think they'll talk to me? I'm no more human than you are. Many of the smugglers are meta-humans. If you travel with them, Humanists will allow you into the compound. The rest will be up to you. Why would Humanists deal with a meta-human run operation? Presumably because they are the best option available. Stahl is nothing if not a pragmatist. He will work with metahumans when it suits him to do so. When he finishes with them, he'll discard them and move on. Wouldn't it be easier to just hijack the shipments? Why allow it to get to the Humanist compound at all? He shakes his head. No, stopping the shipment would not stop Humanists. They would merely acquire another. For a pack of snarling races, they are extremely well funded. Let's talk compensation. What does the gig pay? I have contacted sister organizations across Berlin and taken up a collection. Between us, we have raised 20,000 yuan as a payment. I trust that this will be sufficient. Oh, sounds nice. I have etiquette and socialite. I know how much money you profits keep for yourself. You can scrape together more cash than that, and you know it. He lets out a deep sigh. You're wrong about my organization. I keep nothing for myself. Nothing. But I will see what I can do. I might be able to call in some favors and raise you another 500. You do that. In the meantime, I'm in. He nods. Excellent. I'm relieved. I will make the arrangement for your meeting with the smugglers. Their leader is an elf who calls himself Maxim. Take the U-Bahn to Schattennest, and you will find him waiting there. Best of luck to you, Slick Flimsy, and good hunting. Know that you're doing a great thing for the meta-humans of Berlin. Your efforts will not go unrecognized. That's fine. Now we make a little run around here in our little Keats and see what we have there. A maintenance worker. Hey buddy, sorry to bother you, but I could use some help over there. You want to make me make a little extra scratch? Oh, of course. Shouldn't take long. Sure, what's the problem? Well, me and my buddy Victor got called in for next Keats over. Something's wrong with the sewers around here. Your local plumbers and mechanics are all useless. Vic and I talked to them, tried to get them to give us the maintenance schedule for your sewer pumps. They just shred their heads at us, said that the machinery down there just took care of itself. My best guess is that your pumps have shut down, happens from time to time without proper maintenance. When the pumps shut down, the waste starts piling up and it's causing some pretty major overflow problems downstream. Yeah, doesn't sound like something I'd be good at. Just see me out, guy. This has to get done, but I think that something got Victor. That's why I need your help. Alright, keep talking. The problem is probably something basic, a clog that needs to be cleared, something like that. Restarting the pumps should take care of. But goddamn way, I'm going in there. If you'll do the job for me, I give you the new and we were paid for it. I don't need it, you can have it all. I can live without the money, but someone's gotta fix those pumps before I can leave. Fine, I do it. You're a lifesaver, chummer. If you find Victor, well, if he's still alive down there, tell him I'm sorry. Okay. Let's just quick save and enter the sewers. Assemble the team and head in. Who are we gonna take? We take Blitz, because maybe we need a Dicker, I don't know. We take Iger, and we take Glory. That's it. I'm about to enter the sewers, and I continue. Yeah. A ghostly labyrinth of tunnels and dead-end passageways make up the network of the sewers beneath the Kreuzbazaar. You climb down the ladder into the shallow underworld and reel at the waves of foul smells that washes over you, clouding your sinews and saturating your clothing. As your eyes adjust to the light, you find yourself standing at the edge of a narrow channel of murky grey-green water. The rush of churning water echoes down the tunnel. You catch a flash of motion in your peripheral vision, something man-sized, moving fast, flitting across the far end of the tunnel. You strain your eyes to see it, but to no avail. The thing, whatever it is gone. Okay, there's something creeping around, and I guess we're gonna have to investigate and kill it. I don't need bliss. I bless myself. I don't need one of those elemental fetishes. I take the earth thing with me and forget about the air. The air is bad enough down there. What else? Jazz is probably a good idea. It raises quickness and AP, so good for a sniper. And another base med kit, because why not? What does Blitz take with him? Strength and willpower is nothing he needs. He needs a trauma kit. Does Slick Flimsy have a trauma kit? No. That's bad. And yeah, okay, there's no requirement for a drone repair kit, so I put a trauma kit there instead. What else can he take with him? Let's have a look. Accuracy increased by 6% and income damage by 3 for 5 rounds. Hyper. For a machine gun guy, the right drug. Nitro. Strength and willpower? No. Cram. Yeah, why not? Cram and flash. What's the difference? It's both are amphetamines, I figure. Well, that's fine. Why not? And bliss. Now, glory is already equipped well. That's it. I have karma available. Yeah, 1 point. That's nothing. Come on. Exit. I don't spend 1 point. It's gotta be worth it. So, what's going on in the sewer you can see in my next Let's Play video. For now, goodbye.